field all weekend. Angebard from the French driver from Scuderia Ferrari Côte d'Azur Cannes, the IB Fast racing car, is on the outside pole. Then it's another Formula Racing driver, Klaus Ziebransen, with the number 89 car. Roman Ziemian, one of my drivers of the weekend, I would say, as a Copa Shell driver. He's been buzzing around and bothering the Trofeo Pirelli AM drivers at the sharp end of the field, and has finished just off the podium in the last race. He's coming in here on a high. He's also very good at saving his tyres. Now, with brand new tyres, does that help or hinder him? I really don't know, but watch for that 173 car towards the end of the race. Johnny Larson from Formula Racing is the sole Trofeo Pirelli entrant. We've got Tani Hanna for L-Tire Motors. Very much local interest with L-Tire Motors. They've got a number of entries in this weekend. In 7th position is the HR-owned-backed Seekins number 16 car. Ernst Kirschmer from Baron Motorsports is on the outside of row 4. Second half of the grid, the two FMK, the Korean drivers, are together on row 5. In 9th, it's the 125 of Jay Park, the 111, the 111 of Andrew Moon. Both mostly white cars, those FMK cars. They're in 9th and 10th. 11th on the inside of row 6, Andrew Gilbert for Altair Motors was having a great battle at the end of the race with Brett Jacobson. We'll talk about him in a moment as well. René Matera, well, he's had an up and down weekend, had an incident with his primary car in race 1, but of course everything is sorted here by Clienti Corsa, and therefore there was a spare car for them to slap on the 163 numbers, and the Scuderia Praha team did field the car in the last race. René did have contact in that race. It was deemed not to have been his initiation of that, and the other driver, Kirk Beerwald, was involved in that. He took the penalty. Behind them on row 7, it is Brett Jacobson in the blue Ferrari of Houston car, the 123. The South African now domiciled in the USA. Altair Motors have their 107 car with Mohamed El Kamzi. He was pretty racy in the last race as well, and has found a bit of pace. Expect to see him maybe go forward from there. Lisa Clark, the Ferrari of Beverly Hills, backed 127. That's the sky blue car with the Etruscan orange accoutrement, another one of the IMSA-sanctioned Ferrari Challenge USA drivers who've come across. Kirk Beerwald, as we mentioned, the Blackbird concessionaire's car, he was deemed to have taken the incident responsibility. Nobody's saying that there was any malice aforethought there. It was a racing incident, but one the stewards felt could be avoided. He had some damage to the right front of his number 113 car, and there was a wee bit of damage to the left rear of the replacement 163 car for René Matera. Matera finished the race. Beerwald actually finished the race in the pits, but I think it's very important for the rest of the competitors, and I suppose for René and Kirk as well. There was a penalty of a grid drop. It hasn't actually moved Kirk anywhere, but it's basically saying, guys, we saw what happened, we don't want it to happen again. Buck your ideas up a little bit.
Yeah, given that this is what this came from the second fastest lap in the fastest lap in that one. It was where he would have finished. It doesn't matter, but it sends the message. Okay, that's the and I agree with you there that it sends the message that you are competitors, not combatants, and please try and stay off each other as much as possible. But it's racing, and these things happen, and I applaud the stewards, Ricky D. Liaco, Al-Qasim Al-Hamadin and Mohammed Al-Hamshi, for looking at that through sensible eyes, and that makes it very easy for race control to work.
We use that saying a lot, and you've quoted it, Phil, just there. It is competitors, not combatants. This is meant to be people having fun. We have to respect safety. We expect people to be competitive. We expect people to want to make passes. I think it's important that that sign has been sent out to the drivers. It is the last race of the weekend, and we don't want people to go silly. We're just starting to get a little bit of shadow on the front straight because the sun goes down behind the grandstand here. It's just after 1 o'clock. Joe Bradley is reveling in the atmosphere down on the grid. Good afternoon, Joseph.
Good afternoon, everybody. It really is an atmosphere down here on the grid. I'm not sure if you can see this dance band that is playing some sort of Arabic traditional dance, I would imagine. It reminds me of our English tradition of Morris dancing, John. So it's
actually not too far away, Joe. You've hit the nail on the head. It's called Yalla dancing over here in the UAE, and it's very, very traditional indeed. And it's a sign of greeting and good luck, I believe, Phil.
It is indeed.
Fabulous, guys. It certainly had my foot tapping there. We're waiting for the front row of the grid. We're not joined at the moment by Christian Brunsberg and Ange Bard. We're still waiting. We've got pretty much the majority of the grid with us at the moment. Might get an opportunity. I always start with the pole guy. Well, the pole guy's not with us, so let's start with the guy who's starting fourth. Roman Ziemian. You mentioned, John, that this...
Well, he's pole in his class. Yeah, he's pole in his class. He's pole for the Copa Shell, so he is a pole man.
Yeah, he's currently talking to his engineer at the moment, so we'll get a word with Roman in a moment. His race engineer's got a WRT shirt on, so he's certainly been advised by good stock. Conversation going on there, probably talking about whether or not to go for the overall win or the class win, because he may be starting on the second row, John. He's on the class pole, but with those two cars ahead, it's instinctive to want to get by. And you mentioned how much hotter it is. Last time these cars ran was this morning. It was much cooler. Last night for their first race, it was at sundown. Yeah. Much cooler. Right now, it's absolutely scorching.
Yeah, Joe, just is it Seb on the camera again this afternoon? Seb, can you point Seb to the Pirelli P0 on the side of the tyre there? And you will, if you see on the side of there, it is Pirelli P0, and it has in yellow letters race 3. So they are moving through the tyre allocation. The last race was race 2, and that was in red letters. This is race 3. So these are all brand new. None of the tyres for any of the competitors here have done any laps in qualifying as per the previous 2 races, Joe. All they've done is the outlap to the grid.
Yeah, so brand new screwed rubber, and it's a good job, John, because we've seen these cars slipping and sliding around. They're a pretty big handful. The power over the handling is far too much, and it's easy for a driver to overcook it and destroy the tyres. So with the hot of the middle of the day, brand new tyres is the order of the events. Let's talk to Roman. Roman, we've just been mentioning that you were on the class pole position, but I'm pretty sure you want to lead this race overall.
Yeah, I try for sure. I try to win the race for sure.
How important is it to have new tyres?
Yeah, it's very important, but we all have new tires, so nobody have any how to say in English?
Advantage.
Advantage, yeah. So we start all of new tires. For sure, the 5-6 laps, all of the guys will be very, very fast. So I have to defend, especially from Tony Hanna, because he's very aggressive and fast driver. But I believe after 6-7 laps, I can use that what I learn on wet and on snow to maintenance the tires and to get. Then it's my advantage. When the tires are used, I'm really good.
Excellent. Thank you, Roman. Wish you all the very best. Thank you, man. Well, there's a driver that's really been analysing his approach to
motors, and Kirk Beervald. Well, some redemption for Kirk as well.
Yep.
Really, as I said, uncharacteristic mistake from him that caused that contact in the first race. The stewards did give him the responsibility for that, but he's back on the podium in Copa Shell Arm in the third race for Blackbird Concessionaires, ahead of Mohamed El Kabzi and Lisa Clark. Brett Jacobsen a lap away because of that call into the pits earlier on. So another fantastic run for the Corsa Clienti Ferrari Challenge with Trofeo Pirelli and Courchevel here this afternoon. And I think, now, you know, I've only seen these 3 races, but I think if this was an experiment for Asia Pacific, then it's an experiment that has worked.
We've had good racing right throughout the field, and I think that's the key here, that people in their respective classes, as we see there, Rene Matera, he's a
Ladies and gentlemen, a big round of applause for our Trofeo Pirelli AM class. In 3rd place, Klaus Bratsen, Orangebard in 2nd, and Christian Brunsberg. Gentlemen, if you'd like to take up your trophies, please take up your trophies now. Lift them high in the air. And a big round of applause, everybody. A great win for Christian Brunsberg for Formula Racing. Thank you, gentlemen. Our next trophy presentation, for everyone's information, will be for the Courchevel class. And we'll be making our preparations now, and I'll come back to you from the podium when we're ready to go ahead with the trophy presentation for that.
Yeah, a little bit of resetting needing to be done. Joe Bradley down there. Been a really good weekend of racing here. I've thoroughly enjoyed it. And high quality of racing in all of the classes. A testament to the organisation. Cars are all the same. Drivers are effectively what are classified. Drivers are the classified item, if you will. And just a real testament, as I say, to Ferrari Challenge the world over, the Ferrari Challenges the world over, because we've had representatives from the US, from Europe, and from further afield, from the Asian Championship as well, Asian Pacific Championship as well here, and just proof that they've got their sums right, and it does give a very level playing field indeed. Of course, we see that every year for the Finale Mondiali, the World Finals, next year at, or this year, should I say, Monza. Looking forward to that one later in the year. Just to prove the level of the competition, multiple US Ferrari Challenge winner, of course, Cooper McNeil, who drives the WeatherTech car. He'll be in, he's been to Le Mans a couple of times in GTE Pro, and he will be racing in the new GT3 Pro category in a couple of weeks' time, couple of weekends' time at Daytona in the first round of the IMSA overall championship for the 24-hour race. Joe Bradley has another set of 3 drivers. We have another set of 3 trophies. Time, Joe, to put those 2 items together.
And this time it's for the Courchevel class. So please welcome to the podium in 3rd place. That's car 188. That's Ernst Kirschmeier. Big round of applause for Ernst. In 2nd place, that was car 157. And that is Tani Hanna from Altair Motors. And our winner of the Courchevel class, that's Roman Ziemian, Altair Motors. A big round of applause. Roman just making his way onto the podium. And now the national anthem of the winning team. A big congratulations for our Courchevel podium. Gentlemen, if you take your trophies, lift them high in the air for the official photographs. In third place, Ernst Kirschmeier. In second, Tani Hanna. And the winner of the Copper Shell class, Roman Ziemian. Congratulations, gentlemen.
And the Ferrari Finale Mondiali 2022, Mugello 20. Oh, sorry, that's 2021. I've looked at the wrong. Yes, 2022, 26th to the 31st of October. That is my birthday weekend. The Autodromo Enzo Dino Ferrari hosting the Ferrari Finale Mondiali. That sounds like a birthday weekend road trip to me, for a drive across Europe. And anybody who wants to loan me a Ferrari to do that, I'd be very happy to put some miles on it for you. That is a grand tour in the proper sense of the word. One more to come for Joe. Just getting that set up now. The various calendars are out for the 2022 season for Europe, UK and the US. And if you want any more details on that, if you just search Corsa Clienti or Ferrari Challenge. Joe?
That was received. You're going to leave the podium on TV now, John, so I bid you farewell. With 2 more podium presentations left, I'll say bye-bye to you.
Thank you, Joe. Thank you for your hard work. And thank you to all involved in the Ferrari Challenge. We'll take a short breath before we come back to you with the build-up to the 2022 24 Hours here in Dubai.